Hi everyone, in this video we are going to talk about the convention of Greek tragedies. The first point is that the aim of Greek tragedies is to arouse pity and fear through the alteration in the status of central characters. Character and his or her misfortune must be felt relatable to the audience. An ideal protagonist of a Greek tragedy is a man who is highly renowned and prosperous, but not preeminently virtuous and just. His misfortune was brought upon him not by vice or depravity, but by an error in judgment or frailty. A very important work in studying Greek tragedy is Aristotle's Poetics. In his work, he stated that there are three unities for a Greek tragedy: unity of time, unity of place, and unity of action. By saying unity of time, he meant that the time range of a Greek tragedy is no longer than 24 hours. Unity of place means that the play usually takes place only in one location. Unity of action means that the action of the central characters and of the other actors surround a singular plotline. He also stated that there are 6 fundamental elements of a Greek tragedy: plot, character, diction, thought, spectacle, and song. And he suggested that plot would be the most important aspect of a Greek tragedy. Meanwhile, there are also some other very important terminologies that we should know if we are talking about Greek tragedy. The first one is hamartia. In antiquity or in a classical tragedy, it refers to error in judgment. But in Shakespearean tragedy, it refers to a flaw in personality trait. And the hamartia is usually the reason why the hero experienced a downfall. Next one is peripeteia. A peripeteia is a reversal in fortune of the tragic hero. It is a turning point where the hero starts to experience a downfall. Next one is catastrophe, which is what happens at the end of a tragedy. And it is usually a death or exile. And these two are usually what will a tragedy ends. Next one is catharsis. A catharsis is the cleansing or purification of audience's emotion after viewing in the play. And the catharsis is usually what the goal of a tragedy is. Next two are the two gods in ancient Greek mythology. One is Apollo, that is god of knowledge, logic, and control, and the other one is Dionysus, which is the god of emotion, wine, and fertility, and also chaos. Next one is didactic, which is the intent to teach. And all the Greek tragedy all have some intentions to teach the audience about something of humanity and gods. Next one is irony. There are usually a heavy influence with irony in a Greek tragedy. The first one is dramatic irony, which is the core of Greek tragedy, as Greek tragedy relies on the audience knowing the source material before viewing the actual play. Next one is situational irony. Is what happens is the opposite of what the audience has expected. And next one is verbal irony, which is that the actor says something that they don't mean so. And the last one is cosmic irony, which is that characters' action is totally controlled by the universe. They don't have their control over their own actions. Next one is hubris. And hubris is one typical example of hamartia. It is the overwhelming pride, arrogance of the central hero, and is often against gods. Next is fate and destiny, which are two very important factors in a Greek tragedy. They are usually, the fate is predetermined character's destination, usually by gods. And catalyst is an agent of change, anagnorisis is a sudden realization of a truth by the hero. Next is chorus, and chorus is the narrator of the play. They are usually elders. They comment on the actions of the actors and the heroes. They are the ideal audience members. Monologue is a long speech done by the character, and soliloquy is a monologue done by a single actor on stage. Pathos is a pitiful emotion evoked among the audience. Ethos is a community's core beliefs and values, and logos is logical reasoning. Now, after knowing all these terms, there are some other important things we should know. Tragedy was born from the dithyramb, which is a festival honoring Dionysus. The central conflict of the Greek tragedy is between Apollonian and Dionysian sensibilities, that is, emotion versus logic. In a perfect tragedy, the peripeteia leads to a catastrophic and unexpected conclusion, and the recognition, which is an agnosis of the truth. This realization will evoke the appropriate emotion among the audience, which is exactly pity and fear. The goal of the tragedy is not the suffering experienced by the hero, but the knowledge that comes from the suffering, which is, I said before, that the Greek tragedy always intends to teach something to the audience. The goal of tragedy is that the audience would leave with a cleansed and uplifted feeling and a heightened understanding of humanity and gods with their relationship. I think that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching and have a good day.